Welcome to Learners Academy, and today is the fourth lecture of Distinguish Between in the Quick Revision series. I'll be giving you the best notes for final exam, and I'll be covering all the Distinguish Between from chapter 7, that is lenses, and that is from Science and Technology part 1 from Maharashtra Board. Stay focused throughout the session. Let's get started now. Let us understand the difference between a convex lens and a concave lens. This topic has been covered in the 9th grade books also, but still I'm going to cover it again. It's very confusing to understand the difference between a convex lens and a concave lens. So how do we understand? We have this word cave. Cave is something which is like this. For example, this is a cave. All right. So the word this lens that has got this structure will be a concave lens. All right, now I will show you the picture of a convex lens and a concave lens. Now which one is having the same structure like a cave? This one, right? So this is a concave lens and this one is a convex lens. Now let us go see the point-wise differentiation. A concave lens has its surface curved inwards. So you can see this surface is curved inwards. On the other hand, a convex lens has its surface curved outwards. All right. Now the second point of difference is it is thicker at the edge than at the middle. So you can see here that this is thicker at the edge and this one is thicker at the middle. All right. So which one is thicker at the middle? Convex lens. All right. You can see in my point it is thicker in the middle than at the edge. All right. In the middle. All right. The next point is that it can form, the concave lens can form only virtual image. This is very important. On the other hand, a convex lens can form only a virtual image as well as real image. It can form only virtual, it can form real as well as virtual image. Now the last point is that it can form only diminished image. That means in case of a convex lens, only diminished image will be formed. Whereas in case of a convex lens, we can have not only diminished, we can have magnified, diminished or the same sized image depending on the position of the object. So depending on the position of the object, we'll have different type of, if the object is here, we'll have different image. If the object is here, we may have different size of image. So depending upon the position of the object, we may have magnified, we may have diminished, or we may have same sized image. In this, we are going to see what is the difference between farsightedness and nearsightedness. So this is a very confusing term for most of the student because sometimes they confuse with farsightedness with myopia and nearsightedness with hypermetropia. So how to remember that? See, this hypermetropia is a very long word, isn't it? And myopia is a very short word as compared to hypermetropia. In case of farsightedness, far away object can be seen very clearly. So that means long objects which are there, they can be seen very clearly. So the word hypermetropia means farsightedness, and short, the objects which are very near to you, that means at a short distance, they can be seen very clearly. That means myopia means nearsightedness. Actually, there are three types of defect visions in human eye, but here we will be concentrating only between myopia and hypermetropia. All right, what some people cannot see things clearly due to loss of accommodation power of the lenses in their eyes. So what happens? Because of this defective refraction by the lenses, their vision become either fuzzy or faint. The vision becomes faint or fuzzy So you need to do some correction using either convex lens or concave lens. All right. So in general, there are three types of refraction defects. One is hypermetropia, as we are discussing here, hypermetropia and myopia. Plus there is one more which we are not discussing right now, is presbyopia. All right. So we will be having point of difference between these two now. So before that, I'll show you a picture. This is, a picture for far-sightedness. That means far away object can be seen very clearly. Now this is retina. In this case, you can see that the image is formed at the retina. So this is called perfect vision. There is no problem in this. Now in this case, what happens? The image is formed beyond retina. So uh, this is called hypermetropia. All right. So what is the correction done? We need a convex lens. So again, when we put a convex lens in front of the eye, again the image is formed on the retina. All right, on the retina. Now in case of nearsightedness, see, this is called perfect vision. There is no problem here. All right, because image is formed on the retina. But in this case, you can see the image is not formed here. It is not formed here. It is formed before that. All right, so this is called a myopic eye. So what is the correction here? We use convex lens in front of the eye so that again the image is formed on the retina. So now let's start with the point-wise differentiation between hypermetropia and myopia. In hypermetropia, human eye can see distant objects very clearly. All right. But in case of myopia, human eye can see nearby object distinctly but is unable to see distant object clearly. Now, in case of hypermetropia, the image of a nearby object would be formed behind retina, as you see here. All right. In case of myopia, the image of distant object is formed in front of the retina, as you can see here, in front of the retina. All right. Now, the third point of difference is this defect can be corrected using a convex lens. All right. And this myopia can be corrected using a concave lens. All right, this is a concave lens. That was all about the differences between myopia and hypermetropia. Let us understand the difference between a simple microscope and a compound microscope. In case of simple microscope, I'll show you the picture that, see, convex lens is only used, only one convex lens is used, whereas in case of a compound microscope you will find two convex lenses, objective and eyepiece are used. All right, in case of here the object, you will see that the object is placed within the focal length of convex lens. All right, now in case of compound microscope, you will find that the object is placed beyond the focal length of the objective lens. Okay? And in case of simple microscope, the magnifying power is much less as compared to compound microscope. And the other point of difference that I want to tell you, that simple microscope is used to repair minute parts of watches, to read words in small prints, that's it. But compound microscope is used to observe blood corpuscles of plants and animal cells. All right, it is used in the laboratory to find the check the blood samples. All right, so now let us go to let's have a point-wise differentiation between, and you please remember all these points very carefully, and in case you have time, you also draw the diagram. All right, now the first point of difference is that in case of simple microscope, it is only used, in this only convex lens is used, whereas in compound microscope two convex lenses used. Objective lens and eyepiece are used. In case of simple microscope, the object is placed between within the focal length of the convex lens, and in case of compound microscope, the object is placed beyond the focal length of the objective lens. Alright, this is very important point. Now next point of simple microscope is that its magnifying power is much less as compared to the compound microscope. See here, the magnifying power of a compound microscope is much greater than that of a simple microscope. Now the last point of difference is that simple microscope is used to observe minute parts of the watches and small objects, to read the words in small prints, whereas the compound microscope is used to observe blood corpuscles of plants and animals, alright, blood cells of animals, and it is used in laboratory to check the blood samples. Let us understand the difference between real image and a virtual image. This is very important. Alright, now the first point of difference is that a real image is formed when the light rays starting from an object meet after reflection or refraction. They have to meet. On the other hand, a virtual image is formed when the light rays starting from an object appear to meet after reflection or refraction. They actually don't meet. Alright, here the real image is formed when the light rays starting from an object meet after reflection, but here they appear to meet. Alright, the next point is that it can be projected on the screen. A virtual image cannot be projected on a screen, and real image is always inverted with respect to the object, whereas a virtual image is always erect with respect to the object. Alright, now we have to differentiate between myopia and presbyopia. Alright, in case of myopia, it means the patient can see nearby objects very clearly. You remember the rule that I have told you, small word, that means all the small distance objects are very clear. Hypermetropia is a long word, so all the objects which are at a long distance, they can be seen very clearly. Alright, now in case of myopia, as I have told you, I'll show you the picture also. The image is formed before retina. So a concave lens is used to correct the vision, and that vision is called myopic vision. Alright, now in case of presbyopia, what happens? The person is suffering not only from nearsightedness, that is myopia, but he also has a defect in farsightedness. That means he also has hypermetropia. Alright, so now that means his image, because you know what happens, the ciliary muscle lose the capacity to change the focal length of the eye lens. Alright, now when the object is near the eye, then also that person is not able to see it clearly. When it is far also, then also he is not able to see it clearly. So what happens in this case is that it is a combination of these two diseases. So we use a bifocal length lenses. Alright, that means a convex lens is also used to correct distant vision, and a convex lens is also used for correcting the near vision. Alright, so now let us see the point-wise differentiation between myopia and presbyopia. In myopia, in this, vision defect arises due to slight elongation of the eyeball. So the eyeball gets elongated or curved lens. Now in case of presbyopia, in case of aged people, they can't see nearby objects clearly. The ciliary muscles lose the capacity to change the focal length of the eye lens. Alright, in myopia, human eye can see nearby object distinctly but are unable to see distant objects clearly. In case of presbyopia, here people are sometimes not able to see nearby as well as distant objects clearly. In case of myopia, third point, very important point, this defect can be corrected using a concave lens, alright, with a suitable focal length. Now in case of presbyopia, we need to have a bifocal length. That means this defect can be corrected using bifocal lens in which concave lens is used for distant vision and convex lens is used to clear near vision. So that's all. The difference between compound microscope and astronomical telescope. So before I take up this differentiation, let me tell you that astronomical telescope is not there for the syllabus this year, so you should be very happy. But it's not very difficult. You know that astronomical telescopes, they are used to observe satellite, planets, stars, etc., which are very distant from Earth. All right. So now what is the exact difference other than this, that they are used to observe planets, stars, whereas the compound microscope is used to observe minute objects like plant cells or blood corpuscles, etc. So in their setup, I want to show you the picture of a compound microscope. Here in compound microscope, you will find that the focal length and the cross section. What is cross section? When you cut an object, cylindrical object, vertically like this, and you get a slice of something. Like when you cut cucumber slice or bread slices, they are called cross section. Alright, so in case of compound microscope, the focal length and the cross section of the objective lens are respectively smaller than the focal length and cross section of the eyepiece. On the other hand, see the picture of astronomical microscope. You can see very clearly that the cross section of the objective lens are respectively greater than the focal length and cross section of the eyepiece. Now in this case of compound microscope, we always try to adjust the distance between the objective lens and the object. On the other hand, the distance between the eye and the eyepiece is always adjusted. Alright, between the objective lens and the eyepiece, this is adjusted because the object is very, very far. You can't adjust that distance. Now let me tell you the point-wise differentiation between compound microscope and an astronomical microscope. In compound microscope, the focal length and the cross section of the objective lens are respectively smaller than the focal length and cross section of the eyepiece. In astronomical telescope, the focal length and cross section of the objective lens are respectively greater than the focal length and cross section of the eyepiece. Alright. In case of compound microscope, second point, in case of compound microscope, to observe the object, the distance between the object and the objective lens is adjusted. And in case of astronomical telescope, in case to observe the object, the distance between the objective lens and the eyepiece is adjusted. Alright. Now in case of compound microscope, it forms a magnified image of a small object. On the other hand, in case of astronomical telescope, it forms a near image of distant object. Alright. In case of compound microscope, it is used to observe blood corpuscles, plant, animal cells, etc. And astronomical telescope is used to observe the satellite, planets, stars, etc. So with this I conclude the chapter, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video and learned how to distinguish between two phenomena of this chapter. If you want to see more of such videos, subscribe to my channel and take a look at the Learners Academy page. Keep learning and share widely with your friends. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.